NicknLex here.
Hey everyone.
How's it going? So tonight,
Woo!
Tonight we're going to do a reaction for John from Texas, and I'm super excited because it's Rainbow.
Yes.
It's Rainbow, and this is a band we've done, I've done a little bit more, but I really got to know them through the channel. Now, there is some really cool trivia, but let's talk about the songs first, and then we'll get into the whole thing. So you want to take it from here?
Yes, thank you so much to John. He sponsored this through our Buy Me a Coffee page. We're doing from the album Difficult to Cure. Can't Happen Here. Yeah, 1981. And then we're doing from Straight Between the Eyes, we're doing Death Alley Driver, opening track. Perfect. 1982. So just based on John's little comment, he said this is the Jolyn Turner years. So right. This is the vocalist.
So, yeah, so Jolyn Turner. So remember I think it's a couple of weeks ago, we watched this interview of Yngwie Malmsteen and Jolyn Turner, and I think... And
yes.
So basically, Alexia...
I did not care for the man.
Yeah, well, it's also just a spoken interview about their influences. And so basically they did record one album together, which is Odyssey, which is, for some reason, I like it, but it's not the best. But for some reason, it was the highest rated album ever.
Oh, okay.
For Yngwie
of
Malmsteen.
Yngwie, okay.
So I think it was the songs. It was maybe a combination of Jolyn Turner. He's a big name, Rainbow and stuff like that. So it just kind of worked, but there was a lot of tension. So I just wanted to say that. But the guitar player here, Rainbow's obviously Ritchie Blackmore.
Okay.
So Straight Between the Eyes, I do know a story about the whole, because I read something about the album, that the cover, because I've always been fascinated by this cover. We have this album. Oh, wait a minute. The one with the guitar? Mm-hmm. This one.
Yep.
And I one time I looked Rainbow, I was going through like the discography, and so this was inspired by Jimi Hendrix. When Ritchie Blackmore saw Jimi Hendrix play, and he said this to another guitar player, I don't really remember who, it was like, when I saw him play guitar, he hit me like straight between the eyes. His sound.
That's awesome.
I think he said it to Eric Clapton or something, but yeah, it was Ritchie Blackmore because he was so fascinated by Jimi Hendrix. So that's why we have that Stratocaster Straight Between the Eyes.
That is so cool.
So that's all I know. And there are some songs that I have heard from this album, but because it just in passing. Okay. But the other one, the Difficult to Cure or whatever, I'm not familiar
at all.
So, but I am very familiar with Rainbow because I've done some marathons, I think 4.
Yes, and we've done a few Rainbow tracks together as well. But yeah, we bought this in our Seattle vinyl hunting days, which was like in 2011. Mm-hmm. They were like $1 each, and I remember you picked this one up and you were like, oh, this band, like I've heard so much about them, but I haven't dug into them. Let's get this so that I can hear them. And I just realized that there's a rainbow reflected on one of his eyes.
Oh,
had you seen that?
No.
This is the first time I also caught that just now while I was observing what you were saying. I was like, there's also a rainbow on the shadow of his left eye. So that's cool. Anyways, let's get started. Thank you so much to John, and let's go with Can't Happen Here.
Okay.
Okay. Bluesy. Woo!
Alcatraz.
Oh, wow. On this one?
No, that's
Oh.
Jolin.
Oh.
So 3. See the solo. Very good, man. Very good. All right. Yeah. Very good, huh?
It was.
Okay, so very good. And just right now while we were listening, like it's like a revelation because I looked at all the singers. So Ronnie James Dio was obviously, I think, the most legendary.
Yes.
And I mean, his solo career is just like, I think he's one of the best singers ever to grace the microphone. I think him and Rob Halford.
Okay.
And then Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, but it's insane. So the album that came before this, before Difficult to Cure, had the singer, I think this is pronounced Graham Bonnet. And Graham Bonnet was the singer in the band Alcatraz, which is basically where Yngwie Malmsteen, that was his second band when he was just like a teenager.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's so funny because Yngwie Malmsteen was on the first 2 albums, and then Steve Vai joined that band with Graham Bonnet. So that's such a small world, and that's so crazy that Yngwie Malmsteen is a huge fan of Ritchie Blackmore. The other way around, not so much.
Okay.
Like, I guess Ritchie Blackmore was kind of like intimidated by the freaking
powerhouse
that Yngwie Malmsteen was or still is. But they're friends, but he was just like, yeah, he never wrote something like Smoke on the Water. Though,
right.
You know, which I give him credit.
Yes.
Like Rainbow or Deep Purple has the better songs, but it's so crazy that they kind of have almost the same singers.
Yeah, it's always a small world when it comes to music, world, whatever genre you may be speaking of. There's always some connection. This guy was here, and then this guy was from this band, and then he formed this band when he went solo, brought this guy.
Yeah, because in the discog, and I'm sorry, in the what I've read about Malmsteen is that when he was a little teenager, like 14 years old, he would play along Deep Purple, and that was his inspiration.
Wow.
And then to end up with, with the singer of Rainbow is kind of crazy. And also he did record, I think, Dream On, which is an Aerosmith song with Ronnie James Dio. So it's just really cool. And then they had Jolyn Turner in Rainbow, and he had made an album as a solo artist. So there's a lot of Yngwie Malmsteen connections in Rainbow.
Yeah. That is.
So, so yeah. And so
that's
this
what
one
I love about like making like these videos that you're so knowledgeable about, because there's so much to uncover.
I'm just like very knowledgeable about Yngwie Malmsteen because I was obsessed with learning his stuff, and I would practice all day to kind of like be able to play it. And it's kind of funny then later in life to discover that all these people are basically, they're just a generation before Malmsteen. Malmsteen is not really my generation. He's like, when he exploded onto the scene, like I was like not even born. So it's I was just obsessed with him because I really liked his style and Jason Becker. But Rainbow or Deep Purple was like, at that time, like, that's way too slow.
But thanks to them, you have Yngwie.
Exactly.
So that's so cool.
So this was great because
track.
it was a little bit more like a blues kind of like piano bass, right? Like ding, 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 right? But great. There was there was a little bit of neoclassical influence, right?
A little
Richie
bit,
Blackmore was very heavy on that, and I think that's where Yngwie also got it, but he got it more from the classical musicians because he was, I think he got his whole Stratocaster like obsession from Hendrix and Blackmore. Okay, I think.
Yeah,
that he never changed.
It makes sense, if he's heavily inspired by them, that he would also go as far as to have their same equipment. Yes, so
I know
that makes sense.
So this one now from 1982. So so this is the opening track. So let's go with that one. I think I've heard this. So that's a guitar.
Sounds like a race car.
Yeah.
So what is he?
It's a whammy bar.
And heavy distortion.
Yeah, I think I've heard that. Whew. That sounds like Highway Star. It's good. It's almost like Iron Maiden, huh? Yeah, that. It's already heavy metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Highway Star, but different lyrics.
Yes, exactly. And solo.
Melodic minor. A harmony guitar. Woo! Pretty fast for Richie Blackmore. That's a cool sound on it. Lyric. Wow, that's literally like the formula that works for me, you know. Like that's literally heavy metal, not super distorted, but that's like the whole like you know, that's what they were doing afterwards. All the other bands like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, like that's the style.
When you said this is Highway Star,
it is.
It's like somehow it was in my head that I've heard this before. And then when you said that, it clicked. I was like, yes. And I could even tell you when the solo was coming because it was like, that's when it was at Highway Star. It's like even the timing and the pacing.
And Highway Star is also like, it's like, ooh, she's a killing machine. And then the solo is also like an interlude, like because this was you know, like the melodic minor, and then the whole, I love, this was a great song, but I think I've heard it before, but maybe like some, I don't know,
just by happenstance.
But it was very like this formula of the solo, the interlude, the solo, the keyboard solo, or kind of sometimes Yngwie Malmsteen would do like a solo, like a couple of bars, and then the keyboard would do a couple of bars, and then the guitar, like in Far Beyond the Sun.
Yeah.
It just works, man. And this, he is a great singer, Joe Lynn Turner, and I think there was too much ego going on in the band. Like, oh yeah, you're like, I'm Yngwie Malmsteen, you know, but he's like, I'm Joe Lynn Turner, bitch.
Yeah, like I also have my,
like, look at my records, like with Rainbow and like, you know, and so I think there was just too much ego.
You could feel that in that interview that you showed me, and right? I understand why, you know, this was already a big deal, and Yngwie didn't really seem to give him that credit, you know.
I think he just doesn't work very good with others, which is a shame because he could have had such an amazing career if he would have just stuck with Jeff Scott Soto.
Yeah.
That guy was top.
Yeah.
Not that Joe Lynn Turner is also amazing, but just for the style, because Yngwie Malmsteen is more heavy metal. So he's not really a heavy metal singer, this guy. He has a great voice, but he doesn't do the falsettos like Rob Halford.
Yeah.
Like he needs that kind of deal. He should have like looked for one singer, but the problem, and even when I bought the whole discography of Malmsteen, I guess the first 10 albums, I was like, why is there a new singer on each album? That kind of throws you off. It really like, you can't get used to. Now I'm used to that every album has a different singer, and now he sings by himself. It's just like, come on, bro, just get a singer and play your guitar.
Yeah.
Just what they told Frank Zappa, shut up and play your guitar. You know?
I love that. Yeah.
Because he was just talking too much and doing too much like bizarre stuff. And then some guy, I guess, like that's like a legend. Like some guy shouted to him like, shut up and play your guitar.
Oh, God.
And then, I don't know.
There you go.
I don't really know. But what did you think?
Everyone's got to hear that at some point, I guess.
Yeah. What did you think?
It was good. I
right?
really enjoyed it. It was, like you said, just classic, straight up, no funny business. If you know what you're in for, here it is.
Yeah.
And
I love this music.
Yeah,
it's so good.
absolutely.
But this, I have to 100% say, sorry guys, but this is heavy metal. This is, even if you want to call it hard rock, it is heavy metal because of the time.
Yeah.
It's 80s and we're in the heavy metal days. So
there you have it.
Sorry. But I really love this whole, I love Rainbow and all the different like, I guess because we've heard some Rainbow with Dio.
Yeah.
And I think we haven't heard a Rainbow with Graham. Is it Graham?
Yeah, Graham. No, Graham.
Graham Bonnet. We haven't, but I've heard Alcatraz, a lot of Alcatraz, and it's one of my favorite bands as well. And then they had another singer after Joe Lynn Turner, which is Doogie something. But man, what a band! Thank you so much, John. Because this is John. More for Alexia. Because this is like the music that I used to dwell in.
Yeah.
That's like my.
That's why it's fun to have you and do it with you, because it's great when we're both diving into something that is new to us, but it's also nice when one of us knows more, because there's more to say. It's just a coincidence.
So, but thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you.
I love this. I'm sure Alexa enjoyed it as well. And let us know, guys. Are you a fan of Richie Blackmore? Because he's also very difficult on stage. I've seen some videos of him like throwing shit around stage, water bottles at people, and very hard to work with. He's known for that. And then we have Yngwie Malmsteen, Mr. King Ego. But I love the guy. I love his stuff, It's like Donald Fagen all over again. So, let us know. Are you a Richie Blackmore fan? Are you a Joe Lynn Turner fan? Are you a Malmsteen fan, since we mentioned him 100 times in this video? Let us know. And, if you enjoy the video, give it a like.
Thank you guys for being here. We hope to read you in the comments. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, and we hope to see you all in the next one.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.